This is Demi Lovato. Amazing.
You're listening to Authenticity Radio.
Authenticity Radio with Slade Suter.
Baby, I'm not like the rest. Don't wanna break your heart, wanna give your heart a break. I know you're scared it's wrong, like you might make a mistake. There's just one life to live, and there's no time to wait. So let me give your heart a break, give your heart a break. Let me give your heart a break, your heart a break. Oh, yeah.
And now, your host, who has the hospitality of a fat and jolly innkeeper, Slade Suter.
Well, I wished I was a catfish swimming in the deep blue sea. Said I would have some of these women fishing down deep for me.
How often do you control someone in your life? This is Slade Suter, broadcasting from Authenticity Radio Studios here in Barcelona, Spain. Today's broadcast is about relinquishing control.
Well, I'm going. Yes, I'm going. And you're crying more.
Making a conscious decision and choosing one person to exercise with, today's an exercise day, a homework day, to relinquish control. And we're going to flip this on its head. We're going to allow that person complete freedom from our judgments, from our expectations and prejudices. We're going to allow this person complete freedom. This is going to be in the form of homework, an exciting exercise for you to perform. However, this will be a stealth exercise, which means hidden, out of sight, not to be broadcasted to the other individual. Because if you tell the other individual that you're working with that you are doing this exercise, they'll be watching you as you're watching them, and it gets kind of weird. So we're going to keep this in a stealth mode. Now, before we get into the homework, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the benefits of not controlling others and letting others free in our daily interactions. If you can imagine a bucket holding water, and the water happens to be full inside of this bucket, well, this water represents your energy. And you can imagine that this bucket refills itself every 24 hours, more or less, depending on how well you take care of yourself and if you sleep well at night. When you wake up in the morning, you have energy for that day. The way you dispense of this energy is in two ways. One is conscious behavior, a choice of where you decide to direct this energy in current situations, relationships or projects at work, your family, gardening with your dogs, etc. You direct it. The second one is unwanted, unconscious behavior, where your energy is actually escaping through the holes and without you even really knowing it. You probably feel it, but you just don't quite see it happening. And I just want to inform you that there's nothing groundbreaking here. This is an exercise based on common sense, which is, in my opinion, the best type of exercise because we're, again, relying on your own experience and your own intuition. And that's a tool that I really hope you choose to develop for the rest of your life, your own intuition. I'll give you an example in my own life. The other day, I was out walking the dogs, and in my family, I'm kind of like the dog man. I love dogs, and I spend a lot of time with dogs. I interact with them on a daily basis. And one day, I was walking in the woods with the dogs, and my son was with me. And it was during this walk that I became aware that I was riding him. I became very aware of how I was unnecessarily controlling him in all aspects of how he was relating to the dogs. I felt like I was responding to him saying, hey, you should be doing it my way. And I just want to make a point here, is that there is a difference, or at least I see that there's a difference between teaching and instructing. Okay, teaching and instructing has a more creative and open-minded feel to it. Unnecessarily controlling a person has a constrictive and a closed-mindedness to it. You have to do it my way, not your way, my way. I noticed the way that I felt inside, and it was more constrictive. I did not like the way that I was interacting with my own son. So, in a sense, I brought something out of awareness into awareness, and then I did not judge myself. I did not come down hard on myself. I made a decision to replace the control, my need or my want to control him, and replace it with curiosity and respect. I wonder how he would handle the dogs and how they would relate to him if I wasn't around. How would he naturally do it? And I let go in the process. So it's not about choosing not to control. It's about replacing the control with authentic curiosity and respect, and really wanting to know what he's able to do. And at the end of our walk, I discovered wonderful things that he was able to do by himself, and he had his own relationship with the dogs and a way of working with them. I found myself relaxing, and I asked him, could you show me some of the things that you just did with the dogs? I was amazed on how you have this natural ability. And I felt and I saw some small shifts of how he was relating to me. And he was excited, I was excited, and it was a life-giving and fun experience. A matter of fact, afterwards, later on in the day, he said, you know, that walk in the forest, I really had a good time with you, Dad. So, here's the exercise. Select one person in your life. Someone, if someone comes into your mind that you find yourself controlling a lot, husbands and wives, significant others have this issue quite often, select them. Or if you find yourself controlling your children too much, then select one of them. So you are going to have one experience in giving complete freedom to the individual that you're with for this exercise. Please note that after this exercise, you're going to write everything down. Now, listen to yourself. Listen to everything you feel inside, or feel everything you feel inside, and note if there's any resistance or temptation to jump in there and start controlling again. Note that down, because you're going to write that down. And if you do experience that, increase the level of interest and curiosity about the other person, about what they're doing. Okay? And give them the respect, give them the space that they need. Number 2, note if there is any slight change or subtle differences in the relationship between you and this other person. See if they notice something different. And see if you note a difference in the way that they choose to react to you, because you're going to write that down too. Number 3, acknowledgement. This is a very, very powerful and very overlooked part of relationships in general. Acknowledge this person in something that you have observed during your time with them. It could be anything, but just make sure that you take time to acknowledge them, like I did for my son. Number 4, go to your notebooks and write down everything that you could remember internally and externally about your experience of letting someone free. See if you can notice a difference in your energy levels. If you do this, and you do this often, allow more people free in your life, and you will have less of a need of controlling them. See if you notice a change in your energy, in your relationships, and at the end of the day. Well, that's the end of today's program and the beginning of a fun-filled experiment for you. And hopefully it will lead you to other places where you will decide in a conscious way to let people and situations free, where you've been unnecessarily controlling it before. This is Slade Suter. Until next time, be authentic, be true, less controlling, and free.
Where are you when you find a group of people courageously making choices working on conflict resolution, peace building, and authenticity? You are in a Slade Suter inspired workshop. To get a new perspective on how to resolve conflict in any group or organization, business, or family, go to www.AuthenticityRadio.com.
Come on!
This is Authenticity Radio.
Authenticity Radio with Slade Suter.